overnight tonight. Taking on the 15th at 1:05 a.m. Eastern Time. The latest private moon mission will launch from Pad 39A, which is in my line of sight, but I'm kind of aimed right here. All goes well. I'll be broadcasting from Kennedy Space Center for that mission. Again, overnight tonight. It's 1 and 5. UTC, that's like 6:05 UTC. Some parts of the world is not late, but here tonight's this morning's 13. So we're at 5:14 p.m. Liquid oxygen should be starting to load into the second stage of the Falcon 9. So we are less than 16 minutes away from launch. Usually for a Falcon 9, once we see the fueling and the milestones, like the big event, usually means that it's going to go, well, at least it's targeted to go when it's supposed to. They don't have really any cooling capabilities. So, because of the nature of the liquefied kerosene, RP1. So, a little bit of a wind. That's probably getting picked up on the microphone. I'm actually astonished that the video camera is keeping the rocking in focus, because this video camera, for some reason, doesn't like breezy winds. And the wind's coming right out of the north, which has helped with clear skies. You would think there'd be no excuse that I wouldn't be able to track this wind. Less than 15 minutes to go. We're coming up on T-minus 14 minutes and 15 seconds before launch. Fueling should be well underway in the second stage. Computers control computers control most of the actions. The next major milestone is about T-minus 7 minutes when engine chill begins. Some milestones after liftoff. 1 minute, 7 seconds after liftoff. The point known as max Q is encountered. That's the maximum aerodynamic pressures on the rocket. 2 minutes and 16 seconds after liftoff, we'll have main engine cutoff, booster separation, and second stage ignition. About 2 minutes and 32 seconds after launch, boost back burn starts. What that does is basically the rocket's on one path and is heading away from the Space Center, and it basically has to do a big burn to turn itself around so it can come back to the Space Center. During that boost back burn, while the second stage is firing farther away, the fairings around the satellite, the fairing will be deployed. Boost back burn ends at 3 minutes and 26 seconds after launch. And it's 6 minutes and 16 seconds after launch. It's known as entry burn. That'll last about 15 seconds, something like that. Followed by the landing burn at 7:32, 7 minutes and 32 seconds, and then 8:01 landing at LZ2. For most of the perspectives, it's pretty much going to be the same general area. I didn't know where to find it last time, so if I lose it during flight, I'm just going to move the equipment over to the general area. Get the landing. Sometimes cameras are easier to handle, but I have these on a tripod. And of course, the camera is tethered to the software, the device that's allowing the stream. So it's pretty good to lose everything with that. Again, this mission is a classified mission for the Missile Defense Agency, American Department of Defense. Time is still targeted 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 10:30 p.m. UTC. It's definitely pretty breezy, but there's been no discussion about that the winds are too high. It's also ground winds and of course upper atmosphere winds. You've seen atlases going winds higher than this, so I know we're on an inland lagoon, and the winds are strong enough to put little white caps, kind of like a miniature ocean. But certainly not as bad as last week when that last mission was delayed. That's right. Yeah, Pace was delayed for 3 days because of really high winds. And again, when you're on the water, even though we're in Florida, you get the air conditioner effect, so it feels a lot chillier than. We are under 10 minutes till launch. You're gonna see some knocking here because I'm getting my second camera ready to party. Join the party. Have a signal on the second camera. So aid in tracking when we get a couple minutes closer to launch. We're going to change the. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So I actually track with a separate monitor that's on a different camera, and so if the cameras aren't perfectly aligned because the lens sizes are the same, so hopefully the rocket will be a little bit smaller, but hopefully it will appear to be in front. Just plugged in. Mr. Black. Beautiful late afternoon in Central Florida. An area of cloud in the sky, at least in the areas that you want to look at. This mission is not deploying Starlink satellites. This is a paying customer for SpaceX, the U.S. military. This is putting up 6 early warning missile warning satellites to detect hypersonic missiles from various and sundry places. So the one in California in a few hours, yes, that's a start. This is a different mission. So this is actually launch time still part 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Anybody's in the local area, obviously streaming, so you should go outside 10 or 15 seconds before if you're not already outside enjoying the sunshine. Mission which will be action filled. Actual launch, of course, sound, separation. Hopefully be able to track the booster. It's a lot harder than it looks. And be steady. And we have to be steady. Final checks. Level checks. A little over 6 minutes until there are several places where you can go to kind of get an idea of upcoming launches. The problem is a lot of them get delayed, so we'll see a target
existing
date,
space architectures and capabilities in creative new ways. Working with commercial industry, innovators and tech startups, and allied nations to exploit, buy, and build. To deliver better, faster, and more affordably.
We are advancing the space architecture that we have up there right now, making sure that it's optimal, making sure that we get new space architecture set up, prototyping, experiments, to ensure that we can outpace the enemy tomorrow.
To maintain our lead in space, Space Systems Command has embraced a new culture, empowering its people to race forward, speak up, and connect with industry in unprecedented new ways.
Our people are agile. They continue our partnerships. They are working in order to contribute to the big warfighter purpose.
Space is a team to work together to provide integrated, resilient capability, speed in order to fight through any contingency crisis.
Space Systems Command is moving fast to maintain U.S. superiority in space, running a marathon of sprints, thinking differently, acting boldly, empowering at every level
to make space work for us all. At Space Systems Command, space starts here.
Best guess is that it will.
Here at T-minus 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Also,
We're over this.
up next, the trust structure.
Second stage is always a new build. First stage is a reusable. The second stage, it just goes too high for anybody to figure it out yet how to do it cost effectively. And right on time is the chopper. There's like a lead right here. Less than 4 minutes. I'm going to zoom out, so hopefully both cameras. Whoa, maybe not that far. I'm going to zoom out, and then we're going to go ahead and take it to manual so we don't get blown out. We're going to see how this works, because say cameras have to be kind of aligned, and I'm actually a little off center between the two, but since I zoomed out quite a bit, it'll T-minus 3 minutes until liftoff of Falcon 9, carrying payloads for USSF-124. Should have a landing back here at the Space Coast. Nearly perfect lighting conditions. We don't get this too often. Should be coming up on not really an official name, but usually around 2 minutes before launch you see the last venting. It's not quite as big as the 20-minute vent, but it kind of lets you know that we are on. Yeah. 2 minutes. T-minus 2 minutes and count. And there we go. Yes, we're a little farther away now because I pulled back. But yep, so looks like so far the countdown is proceeding. You don't get a lot of information, you look for the visual clues. Minute 30, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 9 seconds left off. 5:40. Eastern Standard Time. 10:15 UTC. Just gotta remember that we did that. I think we did. Looks like the string is still holding. Coming up on T-minus 1 minute. 45 seconds. The launch director gives his final verification to go for launch. Again, other than that, most of the activities are directed by computers. T-minus 30 seconds. As usual, I usually keep it steady for a few seconds. And then you're going to see a whole bunch of shaking as I get into tracking. 15 seconds. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition. And we're going to lift off. Falcon 9 is cleared the tower. Now we're going to transition. Past max Q by now. She is all the way up there. I'm not sure if this is not going to be a southern launch. Sure, it looks like it wants to go south. Right now she's kind of hiding behind her own exhaust cloud because the wind's pretty stiff out of the north. So are we going to find it again? Is there always something? Yes. There it is. And now I'm hitting some glare. Don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up.
And now it's going back into its cloud, but it should come out again. We should have shut down. There we go.
And I can't tell if I got it or don't. It's still pretty faint.
There you saw and heard the confirmation of a successful main engine cutoff, stage separation, second engine start, and boost back burn start. You can see great views from the Falcon first stage. The grid fins will be deploying here shortly. And coming up is fairing deployment as well. And as a reminder, we won't see any live views from the second stage today, so we won't see the fairings deploy, but we will get confirmation of their deployment.
Fairing separation confirmed.
There you heard that call out for successful fairing deployment. Now, coming up next is the end of the boost back burn, which will be happening in just under 10 seconds here.
Stage 1 boost back shutdown.
There you heard that confirmation of the shutdown of the boost back burn. That is a good burn of the first stage. Again, you are watching a live webcast for USSF-124, a collaboration.
On nominal trajectories.
A collaboration between the Space Systems Command, the U.S. Missile Defense Agency, and the U.S. Space Forces Space Development Agency, delivering 2 prototype satellites to orbit as part of the Hypersonic and Ballistic Tracking Space Sensor Program, as well as the SDA's final 4 Tranche 0 tracking layer satellites. You can see our grid fins have deployed there, and these will help reorient that first stage as it makes its way back down to Earth. And you can see those puffs of gas. They're coming from the attitude control system, and that is nitrogen gas that is coming out. Now today we will be attempting to recover the Falcon 9 first stage back at landing zone 2. And in just a couple minutes, the booster will execute an entry burn followed by a landing burn. Now, both of these burns are meant to slow the booster down rapidly before landing. And if we do have a successful landing today, it will mark the 272nd landing of an orbital class rocket. Now, in order to make its way where 3 of the Merlin engines of the first stage will reignite.
Where are the
and this will help slow the stage down as it re-enters the upper parts of the Earth's atmosphere.
than it did the last time.
And then the third and last burn is the landing burn, and this is
Probably
a
about 30
single engine
seconds to
burn
the,
that brings
entry
the
burn
vehicle speed down rapidly
B1078
in order to land back on Earth.
on its way back to the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station.
You can see those nitrogen cold gas thrusters
See
of our
plenty of
attitude
birds.
control system, along with our grid fins. Those are hypersonic grid fins, and there's 4 of them around the top of the Falcon first stage.
I was going to say, it's going to be pretty high in the sky if we do catch it, which we will. It's just a question of, can I get on it in the amount of time allotted? There it is. Am I going to be able to get, oh wait, oh my gosh, I actually got it. Holy, that never happens. And it turned off right away. That was a short entry burn. That was a lot shorter than average. Well, no, actually, that's about right. That was only about 15 seconds. So we got that. People are pointing in the sky. They're seeing it. I'm not seeing it. Oh, there we go. Oh, she's coming fast, too. I can see it. It's coming really fast. I can't get it. I'm just going to try to get the actual landing. Boy, that's pretty, though. Now we have the entry, the landing burn, and she's going to come right.
Guidance.
Super cool views of landing zone 2.
Right between those 2 poles, just like
approaching quick.
Standing by.
Stage 1 landing light deploy. Stage 1 landing confirmed.
Stage 2 FTS
172nd landing of an orbital-class rocket. And with that successful confirmation of our booster landing that will bring today's webcast to a close, we'd like to give a heartfelt thank you to the United States Space Force for entrusting us with today's mission. And before you go, as many of you know, February is Black History Month.
We'll see you in about
Since 1976, the
8 hours or
United
so
States
for
has
the next
designated
Falcon 9 launch.
this month of February as a time to